I think that's really amazing that what you're doing, starting a farm and connecting to the earth, and what a journey, that's going to teach you so much. And it's so healing. It's so healing to plant things, and to like even just doing that is medicinal, I would say. So very
It's
beautiful.
and it's weird. It's like farmers are just like the most ignored people in society. I don't know why, it seems like it, but like I love to plant things. Like I have a nice garden in when I grew up. Luckily, like my mom takes super nice care of our garden. Um, and like I grew basil. I have a few basil plants that like I planted seeds. I made pesto. I harvested them like multiple years going. Like I collected the seeds and stuff. So, and then my grandpa used to be a farmer. Like he had a piece of land like a long time ago. It was kind of like a hobby farm for him, but I'm like, okay, well, if my grandpa likes it, so that kind of got me inspired. And then I realized that I love plants. I love being outside. And at the end of the day, like in Costa Rica, the climate is perfect to grow a bunch of like exotic fruits and stuff. And some of my best memories of when I first visited Costa Rica is just like going to the guy at the beach who's he has like a bunch of fruit in his truck, and then just getting like this mango and just eating it. Like that's some of my best memories in this country are just eating fruit. So I'm like, hey, why can't I might as well just grow my own? So it's kind of like what you're saying, like it's just logical. You know what I mean? The logical
Hmm.
progression. So, but thank you. I'm stoked. I'm super stoked on this farm. Slowly, you know, it's a lot of work, but I'm slowly hacking away at it, literally.
Yeah, it reminds me too, you like just another, it's like speaking of Western people, or I guess just modern people in general, it's like being so disconnected like from nature. Like so many people are so disconnected from the food they're eating. They don't even understand how it grows. If they've never planted something or like worked with anything like that, it's like it can be so like disorienting. You don't even know like how all that process works. So I think it's really beautiful to come back to that and remember, it makes you more grateful. It's like, wow, this actually had to put so much love into thinking about this and planting this and watering it and nurturing it and harvesting it. It's like but that's an analogy for all of life and all of our creations. It's like having that patience and letting yourself plant the seeds and grow. Not everything is instant gratification. It's like, actually having dedication with things.
Man, now that we're on the topic of farming, I mean, this is a pretty big rabbit hole, but like getting into farming has just made me realize how weird everything in society is. Like, for example, when you look at an aerial view of people's properties, it's just people like it's a bunch of boxes. It's like a bunch of squares. And like you can see from an aerial view, like if you're going over Idaho or whatever, Texas, like you could literally see the crop fields. It's just a straight square. And like on this side, like somebody else, like maybe they harvested and on this side they did it. And you could literally see like boxes of like where the whole agricultural setup is. And it's just like, I mean, nature is nature, but humans have tried to like put nature in like little boxes, like here's your lot, here's your lot. And I mean, even the concept of farming itself, I mean, back when people were indigenous, I mean, it wasn't like we just had farming out of nothing, right? It was like people had to learn how the seeds worked, and then they had to actually plant it. Like it was a long process. But like farming is for me has been like a huge step in getting closer to nature, but like not everybody knows how to farm properly, right? like there's like a lot of times people do like it's like in Texas, for example, they'll just have a big ass plot, many acres, and they'll just plant corn on the whole thing. Just corn, 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 corn. And then they'll just at the end of the season, they'll just harvest all the corn. They'll just cut all the corn down. And that's horrible. That's like the worst thing you can do. You're just extracting nutrients from the soil. It's like just because you're farming doesn't mean you're doing it right. So like that's what created the Dust Bowl. Like in the Depression era, like I think in the 20s and 30s, like people were just doing that, and they had these fertile lands that they just ravaged, and then all the land became like dust. It became like sand because they killed all the nutrients. And then next time there was a windstorm, it was like a massive sandstorm. It kicked up all the dust, and you just had massive sandstorms like raging over the Midwest, and people had to like leave their homes and stuff. This was like part of the Great Depression. But the key point is that people have to do sustainable. I think that's the key. You know, like you have to think the ideal is that you plant something, like you plant a tree, and then once you get it going, once it takes like maybe 2 to 7 years for the tree to like actually establish itself. But after that, every year it just produces fruit. You don't have to do anything. You just have to collect it. So, you know, so
Yeah.
I guess that's the key, right? We have to like try and do some kind of sustainable agriculture, and our society is almost not built upon nature. Like it's almost like built to put nature into little boxes. So we have to almost go back to the beginning and like I don't want to we can't just destroy all of society, right? Because what are we going to do that's better, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't just destroy everything. But there is a better way, I guess is my point. So there's much room for improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
when, what you're doing is like building the new, and it's like, I feel like that's the best way to do things is like build the new system, and it's, make it so much better that, hopefully it can actually outcompete the old, you know what I mean? So you don't have to destroy the old and there doesn't have to be famine or struggle, but we just start to build these, like you're saying, sustainable. And it has to be, it's like we do have to go back to like, I want to say like like kind of like Aboriginal elders, just that ancient wisdom, find that knowledge, find that books, or really, that's how it's connected to spirituality, like really have integrity with these things. Because even a lot of like sustainable, whatever corporations or groups, it's like they're totally full of shit, you know what I mean? Like they don't care about nature at all, in my opinion. It's like, so you just have to, really, I think, have integrity and like make sure you know what you're doing is right. You know what I mean? It's not just about profiting someone else, but it's like, actually creating again like that legacy and like creating like going back to again nature and the cycles and the prosperity and how they used to do things, not just everything. I don't know. It's like everything got so industrialized and just like people don't people's priorities are. I think it's coming back around, but it's
industrialization,
like
yeah, I don't know if people learn about this in school, but industrialization is what changed the world. Like industrialization completely changed everything.